Hey there folks, it's your boy B3 back with another action figure review. Today we have the Boss Fight Studio Saurozoic Warriors Triax Skiver from Wave 1. And he's kind of, like this whole section just kind of fell in. Because I ordered one of these for me to have and review, and then I also ordered a bunch for my store. I invested in Saurozoic Warriors. Don't worry, this will be a fair review, because if it wasn't, would I be showing you this? No, I wouldn't be. All the other Triax Skivers were completely fine, but this one I decided should be the one I open, because he's flopping around in there. But yeah, this is the original Triax Skiver. I have already reviewed the repainted Nightlands version, and maybe I'll talk about why I think it's pronounced Skiver and not Skiver, even though that was my first inkling. But yeah, you can see he's got this big package. The Wave 1 packages are bigger than the Wave 2 packages. I do like that they downsized them a little because it's less wasteful, but they have these big wide ones because they like to showcase all the accessories for in-package collectors. Of course, an in-package collector would not be happy with this, but as an out-of-package collector, I don't mind. But don't worry, if you order one from my eBay page or get one in my physical store, $29.99, then, it's not going to be like this. But yeah, pretty cool. You've got all the lore on the back. Once a Ceratops guard serving his tribal leader, Triax Skiver, discovered a dark secret. His leader was hoarding knowledge and technology that could improve the lives of everyone in Sauria. Not content to just sit by, he stole as many of the forbidden plans and tools as he could carry and left the city in the dead of night. Now, with the bounty on his head unable to return home, Triax Skiver tries to stay one step ahead of those who chase him. He's heard tales of a hidden society of exiled scholars and teachers, and won't rest until he finds them and brings their knowledge he stole to help all the citizens of Sauria. A world-renowned warrior, Triax Skiver uses a variety of custom ammunition in his revolver to take down his opponents. He arrives ready for battle with a halberd axe, 2 blaster pistols, knife, 2 smoke grenades, and armor. And then there's the rest of the wave. I also have Ceratopsian Guards and Mar Ossus for sale, and their reviews will be coming soon. I do not have Range Brachion in my personal collection or for sale. I have the repainted Range Brachion just in my personal collection, but not in my store, and this is the original Wave 1. If these others do well, I'll stock Range Brachion. But right now, I don't have him. Sorry. But I do have the review of the repaint. But yeah, legal stuff and original comic art on the side, which is very cool. I do appreciate that. And there is a comic book that you can get on Boss Fight Studios' website. I couldn't get it to work on my phone, but it works just fine on my laptop. Keep that in mind. If it's not working on your phone, maybe try a desktop somewhere. If you don't have a desktop, library, etc. Or you can just watch a YouTube video about it. But it's basically, the origins and lore of the world. These guys are actually from Earth. They're surviving dinosaurs from Earth. Pretty cool. They lived in a utopia, and now it's a much more barbaric world since they've had to leave their home. He's really flopping around in there. So let's bust this guy. Oh, out of packaging. And here he is out of package. Triax Skiver from the Saurozoic Warriors. Sorry that there's no backdrop, by the way. It kind of is being used right now for something else. A nap. It's a blanket. Anyway, Triax Skiver, the main character of Saurozoic Warriors. I do think, as I said, that he is based off Luke Skywalker. Because in the stop-motion trailer for this figure, as well as the free comic, you can see some similarities between the Ceratopsian Guards hunting him and stormtroopers, but also he is delivering plans to people that can do something about it to free them from an evil empire. He's doing a Star Wars, folks. Also, the old degraded kind of technology thing, I think, because Star Wars has kind of the degraded technology for the average person, but then the Empire has really nice tech, and the whole thing that this evil Empire is doing is, let me check my notes here, hoarding tech. Interesting. So yeah, I do think he's very supposed to be similar to Luke Skywalker, but also a Triceratops, and it's nice to see that flopping around in the package like he was, there's actually no paint scuffing on his horns, on his 3 horns here. However, these little horns on the back of the frill that were protected by the packaging do have paint scuffs on them. Don't say I'm not a fair and impartial reviewer, even though I am selling these on my website, $29.99. Anyway, that's free shipping, by the way. Pretty cool. The neck on our last Triax Skiver, the repaint, had to be turned around because it was backwards. This guy's was not. That's not a big deal because it's a jointing and just turn, but still. I like the paint on his scar. The scar is kind of just left unpainted on the other one. And on the other, I feel like there might be some differences in the heads, actually. Just minor, but that might just be paint fooling me. But there is a paint difference in the mouth. You see, the Nightlands version we already reviewed did not have a fully painted mouth. The tongue and beak were painted, but it was not painted on the bottom here. It's not painted on the top, which doesn't really bother me because I can't see it most of the time. But that's an improvement kind of over the Nightlands. Very nice. I do think that Boss Fight Studios designs the clothing on most of their figures to come off, but I cannot figure out how to get this off, unfortunately. But all the clothing is kind of just sitting on him loose. It's not sculpted on, which is nice. And it's not floppy or loose either. I said loose, but I meant detached. And it's not like floppy or anything. It all sits really well on him, which is very good. But you can see like little scuffs and bullet holes in the armor plating, and you can see where this was like maybe part of the hull of a ship and it was repurposed into an axe, which is very interesting or something like that, because it's got all these scuffs. And there is different paint apps on the weapons for our standard Triax Skiver here. God, he's got great paint. There's a lot more paint variants in this than you can probably tell on camera, because even in the product photos, it didn't look like there was that much paint variety. But no, there's several different greens in here, and they all fade and run into each other beautifully. You can see that. You can kind of see the dark patch there. Fully painted on the back. You know, not a lot of figures do that these days. Really nice. I wish he held this axe a little tighter. The Nightlands one holds his tighter, but this guy, you just kind of really gotta make sure he's holding it at this center part. Very nice, though. No peg holes, but he has big wide feet, no problem standing. Now let's take a look at accessories. He comes with two different guns. This more kind of modern-y pistol, and then this kind of revolver-y pistol, which is, you know, kosher. I mean, we still have revolvers like this in the modern day, but I think the point is to show like clashing technologies, like the inconsistency of technology on Sauria by displaying these two very different guns. There are two holsters which are virtually identical, and much like the Nightlands Triax Skiver, this one stays in the holster very well, this one does not. So both my Triax Skivers are holding this pistol simply because I want him to be good, I want him to be kosher, I want him to be ace, I want him to be swag. But yet this axe is also really cool. Lots of nice metallic paint, really neat. And then he has this knife holstered away here. The knife itself is very nice. Once again, it takes a little effort to get it in the holster, but it's beautifully and fully painted. And you also get not one, but two gas grenades. And even if the package didn't tell us they're gas grenades, I know they're gas grenades, one, because of the look to them, and he holds them fine, by the way. But also, for these gas grenades, the Ceratopsian warriors that hunt him down wear gas masks. Interesting. Very interesting. So, yeah, he comes with some great accessories, and a lot of accessories, too. Triax also has a place to put his axe on his back, which I do really like and appreciate, actually. Range Brachion, the Nightlands version, which I reviewed a while ago, that one I can't sell. It's a BBTS exclusive. But the Range Brachion's axe was kind of just too top-heavy to really fit on his back white, but this guy's axe is not too heavy, so it stays on his back perfectly fine. And speaking of our Nightlands Range Brachion, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the review, the size comparisons. On the left is that Nightlands Range Brachion, the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, and on the right is stays a Kaiden, who is a Ronin Samurai Ankylosaur, which is very cool, both of which I have reviewed, and stays a Kaiden and Triax Skiver are available on my eBay page and my physical store, both of them. And as you can see, he scales great with his line. Yes, Brachion is larger, but that is because all the sauropods are. And we only have one Stegosaur, but he's very wide, so I get the impression that they're all shorter, wider characters. So yeah, he looks good with his own line, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters, right? Here he is with some more humanoid stuff. Here on the left, we actually have another indie action figure line, Action Force, from Valiverse, and this is the Steel Brigade Pink Breast Cancer Awareness Vanguard-y Ranger person. Steel Brigade female, pink. Which is very cool. It's a great figure. I love it. Like I want more of these. These Action Force figures are awesome. But I do kind of wish that he was a little bigger when compared to these more humanoid 112s. And I do think he is 112. Like, I agree with that scaling. Some people say he should be classified as 1/18th. I disagree with that. I think he would look really good with 1/18th figures, but I do think at the end of the day he is 112. He's just a little shorter because he's a little thicker. Plus, there are no humans in his universe, so we don't really know. Well, there are on Earth, but he's not on Earth anymore. So we don't know how humans actually would scale with these guys, in truth. But you can imagine that they'd be much bigger, but maybe they aren't. Maybe they aren't. Maybe over all the years they spent on this new Sauria, they had to evolve to be smaller, to conserve resources. Who knows? But, I mean, this goes well with his own line. Once again, that's all that matters. And then, I want to show you this here on the right. This is the Bandai Japan Tamashii Nations Sengoku Seiho Kamen Rider Amazon. Now, Amazon here I'm showing off because I actually think Triax Skiver would make a great kaijin for your Toku heroes. Yeah, so let's move Greta, I call her Greta, to the side here. And see, when you pose them up, I think they actually scale much better together. Because, yeah, I mean, right now Amazon is a little taller than Triax, at least when you're doing eye to eye. But, you know, Toku heroes are always crouched and posed and stuff. So let's do just a quick kind of lazy pose. Nothing too fancy. Just a little quick Amazon. See, once you kind of put him in a fighting pose, you can see that they're more eye to eye, and it's actually really nice. Right? Like how the Ultraman TV show has Ultraman crouch a lot so that the kaijin look bigger, even though the humans in the suits are the same size. Yeah, it's kind of the same concept. So I think he will look good with your, like, figure arts. Since Triax is a dinosaur, let's show him with a real dinosaur's dinosaur, huh? Like the Safari Limited Feathered Velociraptor. Here on the left. So if you want to say, when you're doing your playtime or your display or your YouTube videos, hey, yeah, these are intelligent humanoid dinosaurs, but they live in a world where regular dinosaurs also run around, then I think this is actually a great size, don't you? And then say, because Triax, you know, there's a place called the Nightlands, right, on Sauria, and they have to paint themselves up like the dead, like you saw Range Brachion as, because there are all these horrible monsters in the Nightlands, and some kaiju figures might make great Nightlands monsters, much like this Bandai Japan movie monster series, Shin Godzilla 4th Form, who I think looks really good with Triax if he's going to be a Nightlands monster, because he's kind of towering over him, but also, you know, something that maybe Triax could actually take size-wise. And lastly, here's the Wave 2 Triax Skiver Nightlands Art Deco repaint. Not really for size comparisons, but more for paint comparisons. You can see that the colors are very different, even in the armor, which is really nice, I think. And I like that it's got some popping color here, but nice metal and stuff here. So they look really good, and they really went the extra mile to make them look different. So what are my final thoughts on the Saurozoic Warriors Triax Skiver Wave 1 figure from Boss Fight Studio? I love it. I really do love it. I love the 90s cartoony paint job. I love the entire concept of the figure. It comes with a lot of accessories. Yes, I wish that the gun in his hand fit in his holster better. You know? I wish the little horns on the back of his head didn't come with some paint already scuffed. But all in all, these are really high quality figures with really great quality control. I've had no joint issues. Every joint has moved perfectly. Not too loose, not too tight. Every joint on every Saurozoic Warriors figure that I have. And I have a lot of them. Okay? A lot. I have most of them. So if you want to buy any Saurozoic Warriors, including this Triax Skiver, Stays a Kaiden, Nightlands Triax Skiver, you can get them on my eBay page or my physical store. Definitely check out the links down below for that. I really do love this line. I believe in this line. That's why I invested hundreds and hundreds of dollars into this line for my store, because it is truly great, and I want people to see that. And I want this line to continue on, to do more, because it really is wonderful. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out the store to get your own Saurozoic warriors. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.